We are coming towards the end of FIFA 22, and I thought this would be the perfect time to look back on the year and actually go through some of my favorite teams that I've used. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to get some very easy coins which can be used to buy into some of these teams that will be included within this video, then there is no better place than Mule Factory. Head over there to get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 22 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic 5 at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. Getting back into the video, the 4 teams that I've selected for this video are by far not the most expensive. There is a couple in here which can get a bit pricey, especially at the time in which they were bought. But there is also a team which cost me around 500k at the time and is probably worth around about 100k if you was to go and build this team again as of right now with the current market. More than anything, these are teams I've just used and was impressed by that I ended up using for a fairly decent time. We're talking about being months whilst we go through certain periods of this year. So the first team that I have is the first team that I did do a squad builder around. This was at the time a 3 million coin team, which is crazy because there is only 2 special cards. The team includes Lloris in net, Hakimi, Van Dijk, Varane and Mendy in defense. We then have Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, Ballack and second in form Vinicius in the midfield, and then we also had Kante up front. Now this was just the starter team. Once we went in game, I would change up the custom tactics so that we went into a 4-3-2-1 formation, and it would be Ronaldo, Mbappe and Messi up front with Kante, Ballack and Vinicius within the midfield. I put this team together back in November, and this is why it did cost 3 million coins. Messi was around 500 to 600k at the time. Mbappe was the only rare gold player at this point that was still above 1 million coins, and I think Ronaldo was around 700 to 800k. And of course, those 3 players did make up the majority of this team's expense. There was a few changes that I made with this team. Van Dijk I didn't really enjoy using, and he was only on 6 chem, so I did decide to go back to what I had before this, which was Kimpembe as a centre back, and we ended up using something similar with this defense all the way up until probably after team of the year. We ended up using a defense very similar to this for a very long time. This was my first good team in FIFA 22, but what's really impressive is that the players such as Messi, Mbappe and Ronaldo weren't actually the highlight. It was in fact Vinicius. Unfortunately, I haven't got that card anymore because I did upgrade to his player of the month, but for the longest time, that left mid card was my top goal scorer, and he was switching between being a left forward, a striker, and also a midfielder. I did sell this team halfway through December because we knew that team of the year was coming within January, and I wanted to get ahead on pretty much everything so I can sell my team, wait for the player prices to drop, and then go and buy a new team again, hopefully having my coins go a lot further. But between that period of when I sold this team to actually buying in my next dream team, I went for something a bit cheaper. And this is actually the second team for this video. This team, I didn't ever expect it to be good. It was just something that I was going to use for a month and a half, whilst I wait for the market to continuously drop for every other expensive player so that I can buy them back after team of the year. This ended up being another one of my favorite teams. I wouldn't say it was a cheap B squad because it was still costing around 400 to 500k at a time. If you was to build this now, yes, it probably does class as a cheap beast team. But really, at the time of when I put this together, I just wanted it to be cheaper than the 3 million coin team that we had before. For this one, I didn't really put too much effort into the custom tactics or changing up anything with how I was going to be playing. I just kept it in the 4-3-3 brackets 2 formation, and you can even see that with the defense, it's exactly the same as what we had for the previous team, the 3 million coin squad. The only difference, and we did also mention it previously, was that I did change out Van Dijk for Kimpembe. So the defense ended up being Lloris, Hakimi, Kimpembe, Varane and Mendy. In the midfield, we ended up using Emre Can, Teshua Meni and also Christopher Nkunku, which left our forwards being Sané, Haaland and Diaby. For quite a lot of these players, they were actually included and selected for this team because they initially were players that I wanted to use before FIFA 22 was even released. Back when the FIFA 22 database was starting to release to the public before the release of FIFA 22, I wanted to play with the likes of Kimpembe, Mendy, Emre Can, Tissue Ameni, Nkuku, Sané, Haaland, Diaby, so I selected them to be part of this team. And for those that did have special cards, which I didn't see being too expensive, I decided to upgrade them and buy the best version. This is why this team was put together, and it was never supposed to be anything good, but it ended up being absolutely amazing. And whilst using this team, the main purpose was to let the transfer market carry on going down so that I can keep my 3 million coins in my account and buy back into players after Team of the Year. And I did exactly that. Which brings us on to my third team. My third team includes Team of the Year Donnarumma, Team of the Year Hakimi, Kimpembe, Flashback Varane, Honorable Mentions Luke Shaw, Normal Mbappe, Icon Socrates, Normal Kante, Normal Messi, Foot Heroes Di Natale, and Honorable Mentions Insigne. This team also cost me around 3 million coins at the time, but because the market did continually drop over Team of the Year, it does mean once we compare this 3 million coin team to the previous one, of course, this one is better. This team ended up including some of my favorite players that I've ever played with within FIFA. The players that I've enjoyed using the most, of course, Messi and Mbappe make a return from that first team. Hakimi and Flashback Varane were absolutely amazing, still using them to this day. And Di Natale is by far one of my favorite strikers within game. The hero cards are new for FIFA 22, and across every single one of them, they all seem broken. Once you start using finesse shots from outside the box, inside the box, pretty much anywhere on the pitch, they always seem to test the goalkeeper. If not, they're going into the back of the net. And Di Natale was no different. And this brings us on to our fourth and final team of the video. Some of the players that are part of that third team are crossing over, but a lot of them are being replaced. This is the team that we are ending FIFA on pretty much. We start off with De Gea in net, Hakimi right back, Varane right centre back, Joe Gomez left centre back, Alexander-Arnold left back, Mbappe right centre mid, Declan Rice right in the centre, Eriksen as our left centre mid, Icon Moments Corincha right forward, Harry Kane striker, and Heung-min Son left forward. This ended up being the most expensive team that I put together for our starting 11, being at 5 million coins when it was at its peak. Of course, since then, it has dropped quite dramatically. Some of these players, especially once we look at those which I used right at the beginning of Team of the Year, such as Hakimi, where I put in a very good amount of coins just to buy him, he is now a fraction of that price. Mbappe, who I did buy as part of that 3 million coin team back in November, of course, is nowhere near the value of what I bought for him back then. Even once we look at some of the players that I bought towards the end of Team of the Season, they've still dropped quite a bit, and I'm sure they're going to carry on dropping. So at its peak, it did cost me 5 million coins. But if you are looking to put something like this together now, you should be able to get it at a fraction of the price. This is now classed as my team for the end of year. It's 100 chemistry, 93 rated, a 193 team, and in all honesty, it's probably going to stay that way. I don't think I want to really go and change anything, and I have no ambition to strive to go and get better versions of Mbappe to go and put that version of his card in the team. Every single one of these players will stay in my club, and it will stay as this team. I am still going through other types of teams as I am experimenting, but that's where I go and create something different. I'm not selling any of these players to replace them with anything else because I enjoy every single one of these players. A lot of them, I've used their versions throughout the whole year. Varane has been the only centre-back that I've used from the moment FIFA 22 was released to pretty much being part of every major team that I've used since then. Of course, not his flashback version, but Varane as a player, we started with his rare gold, which I got very lucky to go and pack. I used him for about 500-600 games. Now with flashback Varane, we've also used him since he was released. This team is just a fun team to use. I like every single one of these players once they have the ball at their feet, and once they do get tired and I look to make a sub within the 60th to 70th minute, I normally look at players such as Messi, Neymar, Benzema, Mane, or Nagbury. To bring any of those on, is great. I haven't got any center backs or defenders for that matter, because in all honesty, I don't really care with this team if I start losing. I just want to have fun with it, and that's why I have the attackers down there with no one else. But anyway guys, these are my 4 favorite teams that I've used this year within FIFA 22. Not every single one of them are the best that I could possibly be. There's many teams out there which can definitely beat mine and look a lot better than mine. But these are the teams that I did have the most fun with, whether them be the 500k team or this 5 million coin team. Let me know in the comment section down below some of your favorite players from this year and some of the teams that you've put together. Anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.